We have survived the GameStop Retro, and did it do well, or did it, well, be GameStop? Um, so we went to the one at the Christiana Mall, and it was definitely showing that they were still in the early stages of this new retro world because how the store display is set up. Um, you go in on the right is where the Xbox titles are. You go to the left, that's where like all the toys are at, and there's that little section to the left. When you go towards the left section, and that's where some of the retro games were. So there were PS3, Xbox 360, Wii, and Wii U titles. And I looked around to see if there were any Game Boy games or Game Boy Advance games or even Nintendo DS games. They didn't have anything for display, and not because they didn't have anything. It was because they didn't have the space. And normally I'm like, oh, you should prepare for this. What the hell? But I get it. It's its newer stages. But now we have to see if it's real or not. Because I end up buying a game. I ended up purchasing a copy of Mario Party Advance. I know it's a little hard to see, but I did a recording of this yesterday when I got home, and it was not good. So we are going to test. We're going to see if it's dirty or if it's even real. And if it is real and it's not dirty, then okay, we'll recommend it. So with me, I have my screwdriver set. And then I also had brought two games. One that's a real game, one's a ROM hack. And then I also brought a Nintendo DS system, my Nintendo DS Lite. And we're going to see if both Mario Party Advance is real or it's not real. We're going to find out. So let's go ahead and pop these open. I'm using a tri-wing screwdriver. And all you gotta do is just take the top part off. They're real easy to come off too. That, and then you... Is it this way? Yeah, it's this way, I think. Why is it... Come on. It's stuck. It wants to come out. There we go. Put that there. Then we're gonna do this one. So right away, you could tell which one is which because of the screws. Um, the real ones, the real screws, are going to be a little bit taller than the fake ones. I can't show it off with the risk of losing them, but let's say, because they're both very small, you'll know which one is which when you're trying to put them back in. I'll just say that. And now for the motherboards, something I can show off. Okay. So here's the boards. Oh, the back of the boards. Now, unless you're someone who does this often, you're not going to know right away which one's real, which one's a fraud. But if you flip them over, then you have better ideas. So this one has Nintendo's name on it, as well as other key components to know about, like saving ports and other facts that are in this board. No, 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 no. Hey, get down. Not now, buddy. Uh, you may have noticed too that both of them don't have batteries. Uh, Nintendo at one point when they were making the games, they found ways to do save datas without the usage of those big batteries. So that way, so they don't die, and that means your whole file isn't gone. I knew that upset people for a while. Um, in fact, I'm looking at this one here, and it doesn't even say Nintendo. It says Hyo. It's hard to tell, but at least you can see it better than previous recordings. So you look into it more often, then you can tell like which one's real, which one's fake. Obviously, the one that says Nintendo is the real one. But that's how you can definitely tell if a game is real or if it's fake. And also, when you're putting the board back in, the real boards are a lot easier to put back in versus the fake boards or the ROM hack boards. I don't know. It's like the cartridge is not the cartridge. No, I'm right. The cartridge. It's just how it runs, and then push down, push up. Now screw these back in, and then we'll look into the Mario Party Advance if it's legit or if it's dirty. But these two are very clean. And again, all it takes is just one little Tri-Wing. And then that copy of Pokemon Fire Red is now sealed. And now I'm about to close this copy of a ROM hack, which is Pokemon Fire Red Rocket Edition. What's the cool thing about this Tri-Wing here is there's actually a magnet attached to it. So it doesn't come off, which is great, especially when you're doing this with as little light as possible, so that way everything looks better. So there we go. Now, the big reason, Mario Party Advance. So we're going to take this apart. I already know what the board is supposed to look like, but we're going to see if this is legit or if it's GameStop being GameStop. Now, does this mean that all the games are going to be like that? Probably not, but let's just find out. Pops open. Easily comes apart, so you know it's been worked on. Oops, wrong side. Alright, we're going to flip this over. Okay. Looks clean. There's a little dirt spot, but that can be easily wiped off. Again, I know it's hard to tell, but like on the very bottom here, there's a little dark spot. I know it's hard to see, but I'm doing what I can with the lighting. But it looks like this copy of Mario Party Advance possibly looks legit. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put it back in. And now the big question, can it play? I know my copy of Fire Red and the ROM hack, I know they play. Because because I've had them for, well, I had the Fire Red copy for years. The Rocket Edition I got at a convention, but I tested it there. Please don't tell Nintendo. Alright, so got my DS. Oops. Alright, so at least we know it's working. Of course it is. Alright, put the game in. Thing comes up to start the game. Okay. And it's indeed playing. There you go, you can kind of see it now. But it's playing. So yeah, there we go. As it turns out, this copy of Mario Party Advance not only was legit, and it was clean for the most part, but it was also playable. So if you want to look for retro stuff, go ahead, do that there. Something I also forgot to mention, because they didn't have the display for the Game Boy Advance games, they might give you some sheets of paper of what they have and how much they're worth. So if you go to that once Christiana Mall, looks like it's somewhat taken care of, but that's all I wanted to mention. You guys have a good day and have a safe Labor Day.